Music Theater Works presents the clever lyrics and memorable mid-century melodies of Alan J. Lerner and Frederick Loewe in Lerner and Lowe's Greatest Hits at Evanston's Nichols Concert Hall, directed by Rudy Hogan-Miller with musical director Linda Madonia. You'll enjoy this trip down memory lane, starting in the Highlands of Scotland, over the bumpy trails of the American West, through the streets of London, the salons of Paris, then ending up in the woods and palaces of historic Old England. This is Reno Lovison, executive producer at ChicagoBroadcastingNetwork.com and theater reviewer for ChicagoTheatreandArts.com. This cabaret-style performance begins with the Music Theater Works Ensemble harmonizing to the theme from the far-off sleepy village of Brigadoon, which rising from the Scottish mist awakens once every 100 years. Songs include I'll Go Home with Bonnie Jean, featuring tenor Billy Dawson, Almost Like Being in Love, and Heather on the Hill. Part 1 continues before a 15-minute intermission, with selections from the Western-themed Paint Your Wagon, with Martin L. Wood's powerful baritone rendition of They Call the Wind Mariah, and an ensemble version of Wanderin' Star. The production continues in Part 2 with perhaps Lerner and Lowe's most successful musical, My Fair Lady, in which virtually every song was a hit. The audience enjoyed hearing Wouldn't It Be Loverly, On the Street Where You Live, I've Grown Accustomed to Her Face, and the insomniac favorite, I Could Have Danced All Night, belted out by the soprano Alicia Bernecki. The story of Gigi deals with love and romance in a most Parisian way, and includes a nod to mature romance in songs like I'm Glad I'm Not Young Anymore and I Remember It Well, charmingly performed by Bernecki and Woods. Woods opens the final segment with Lancelot's self-aggrandizing C'est Moi from Camelot, which tells the story of a brief and shining moment from the legendary court of Arthur. Samantha Behan, as the ingenue, gets a few slightly bawdy moments in Lusty Month of May before the emotional Camelot finale ultimo, which I'm certain brought the majority of this audience back to memories of a hopeful time in 1960 when the show premiered. The singers are expertly accompanied by Madonia on piano, Nina Sado, violin, Joseph Krizik, bass, and Joey Zamonis on drums. Music Theater Works will end the 2019 season with Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. The company's founder, general manager Bridget McDonough, and artistic director Hogan Miller are retiring on New Year's Eve this year. Hogan Miller has personally told me he intends to travel and relax. Incoming producing artistic director Kyle A. Dugan assumes management of the Musical Theater Works on January 1st, 2020, when the new season will include Mamma Mia, Ragtime, and Billy Elliot. Lerner and Lowe's Greatest Hits at Nichols Concert Hall, 1490 Chicago Avenue, Evanston, Illinois, runs through October 13, 2019. Running time is about 2 hours with one intermission. For tickets and information, visit musictheaterworks.com or call 847-920-5360. To read this entire review and other Chicago theater reviews, visit ChicagoTheatreandArts.com. The Lerner and Lowe piano music selections on this podcast are largely improvised and performed by Julie Lovison, director of the Lakeshore Music Studio, located in Chicago's Gold Coast. If you're interested in making music of your own or looking for a pianist for a sing-along, visit LakeshoreMusicStudio.com, specializing in piano lessons for all ages. If you need video production for your business or organization, consider RenoWeb.net. If you're a fan of mid-century musicals, you might enjoy listening to my podcast review of Something Wonderful, a book by Todd S. Purdom about the Broadway songwriting team of Rodgers and Hammerstein. This is Reno Lovison, executive producer at ChicagoBroadcastingNetwork.com. If you enjoyed listening to this review, consider subscribing to our podcast to be notified when new content is added.